You watching this video, yeah, you. There's a very high chance that you cannot drive. In fact, the majority of people on the road can't drive, and there's plenty of ways to tell. Some very obvious, and some others not so much. I personally thought that I was the best driver in the world, until I realized that I myself fall victim of some of the 10 things that will be mentioned on this list. After this video, maybe you yourself can come to a realization that you're not as good of a driver as you once thought. Whether that's hogging lanes, being overly cautious, and even being too nice. Yeah, I know, it gets crazy, but just stick with me. And first, we're gonna talk about our honorable mention. This one is so specific, so I can't put it on this list. But if you're under 25 and you drive a Ford Mustang, you're most likely a bad driver. Plain simple. Me personally, I'm 18 and I've driven a 10-speed Mustang GT. And I just want to say, the people who crash Mustangs have no skill whatsoever. You guys are probably going to think I'm exaggerating when I say this, but driving the Mustang was definitely easier than driving my Honda Accord. When I tell you that these cars hook exceptionally well, I'm not joking. It's to the point where I could almost do a perfect launch every time with very little tire spin. And I'm talking ass to grass, pedal to the floor. I'm pretty sure most of that has to do with the 10-speed and the gearing ratios being spaced out very well, but I promise you, driving a Mustang is not as hard as people make it to be. Some of you might come up with the excuse about, oh, but it's because of inexperienced drivers. Bruh, I drive a Honda Accord. That's 192 horsepower, then go into a Mustang GT, which is about 460 horsepower. That's a pretty big jump, and I was very confident in driving it. What I'm trying to get at is if you own a Mustang and you crash it, you simply can't drive. Go get a Prius and stop destroying these nice cars. Okay, let's actually begin with the list now. The first way to easily tell if you're a bad driver is if you speed up when someone is trying to overtake you, especially if you are going slowly on a two-way road. I doubt that future me is gonna find a clip to edit this with, so I'm just gonna explain it with these. Okay, for the visual learners, let's say this is you, and you're on a two-way road, going here and going back. On this road, passing is completely legal, and you have a car behind you which obviously isn't happy with the speed you're going. At this point, you have two options. Option one is speed the hell up, because obviously you're holding traffic. Okay, let's say you're already going the speed limit, or you just don't feel like speeding up. That's fine. The second option is to simply let the guy behind you pass. Do nothing. Keep going the same speed you are. The problem is when you're going slow, and the person behind you tries to overtake you, and then all of a sudden you become Lewis Hamilton and speed up. One, not only is this a safety hazard, because me personally, at that point, it's a challenge. If I'm the one overtaking and you start speeding up, clearly the right thing to do is to go back behind, but me, no. I'll push all 190 horses of my Honda Accord to make sure I pass you, because I'm not getting disrespected like that. At that point, it's gonna be a game of chicken of who is gonna back down first, and I'll tell you right now, it's not gonna be me. There is gonna be some times where the other person's car is gonna be significantly faster, and at that point, you got it. Just keep doing you. But other than that, please let people pass if you're going slow. There's no reason to be a douchebag and then speed up after you've been going slow for the past 5 minutes. Since we're on the topic of speed, I want to talk about those drivers who go the exact same speed as the car next to them, especially on a 2-lane road. These drivers will almost always be going a speed that is so slow to the point where I catch myself thinking, damn, will I fit in between? Bro, I be trying to turn into the swim team every time I drive behind these guys, because most of the time they have no common sense. There's 2 lanes. A passing lane, and I don't know what the other lane is called, but let's just call it the slow lane. So now let's just use our brains here. Why would you be on the fast lane and ever think it's okay to go the exact same speed as someone on the slow lane? I don't even care if it's the speed limit. Just at that point, go in front or behind the guy on the other lane. Make some space for the people who actually want to use the passing lane to pass. Please. If you're watching this, please don't be that guy. Always be considerate of others. This one is different from the first one, because at least in the other one, there is an opportunity to pass. And even if they speed up, you can say that now they're at least going faster than they once were. So either way, you're going faster. This one is terrible, because unless you're Squeeze Benz himself, there's no way of getting through this roadblock. It's just all around bad, so don't do this, please. The next way to tell if someone is a bad driver is if they don't know how to properly ease into a stop. Whether that's coming at a red light, a traffic stop, just whatever. If you're the person who approaches a stop at 60 miles per hour and then all of a sudden slam the brakes last seconds, I'm afraid you can't drive, my friend. These are some of the most annoying people to be a passenger to, because every stop just feels like a car wow brake test. The problem is you can't tell them, because then it becomes awkward, so you just have to deal with it and literally brace yourself before every stop. It's even worse when they have to stop behind another car, because the whole time you're literally thinking in the back of your head, is he gonna crash? So you get that slight drop in your stomach. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. about. I mean, honestly, I am talking from personal experience, so I'm not sure if many of you can actually relate to that specific scenario, but yeah. Braking isn't hard. You shouldn't have to ever floor the brakes instantly unless you're literally about to crash. Similar to the hard breakers, we have the people who brake for no reason at all. I'm not even talking brake checkers, because those are a whole nother level of menacing. I'm talking about the people who literally hit the brakes for the smallest inconvenience. You can be coming up on the slightest curve on the highway or street, and they'll literally hit the brakes and slow down drastically. It's extremely annoying to drive behind this type of person, because the whole time you're thinking there's a traffic jam up ahead, and then when you actually look up ahead, you realize that the closest car is in another city, and you're just sitting there like, bruh. Can't even honk at these people because they technically aren't doing anything wrong. They're just being overly cautious and have no real sense of speed. Their brains can't comprehend that going 60 on a slight curve on the highway isn't gonna make their car flip over. If you do this, grow some balls. Another easy way I could tell you can't drive, and I know this is gonna trigger a lot of people, but if you failed your driver's test more than once, hang up the keys. Why I say this is because even failing once is kind of crazy, but you could get a pass. Or maybe you accidentally did something that gives you an automatic fail, like climbing a curb or rolling a stop sign. That's cool. But if you go to a driving test the second time and fail, you might need a bus pass because driving isn't for you. I don't know, maybe I had it easy because over here, when I took my driver's test like 2 years ago, I had very little experience and I finished with literally 0 faults. So that makes me think if someone can fail something that easy more than one time, they can't drive. I mean, obviously, if you pass eventually and you currently have your license, that's good. I'm still not gonna trust you to carry me around though. In fact, I want everybody watching this right now to let me know how many times it took you to get your license. How many attempts did you take? I want to see if I'm just yapping and maybe there's some valid reasons why people fail more than once, but I doubt it. From what I know, every single one of my friends who failed their driver's test more than once is a literal hazard on the road. And by the way, make sure that like button is blue. What are you waiting for? Go click the like button now. What pisses me off more than anything else in the world is when a driver is way too nice. I don't care if I'm driving behind you or I'm your passenger. When you have the right of way, go. Obviously, it's nice to let people here and there go. Even I myself do that occasionally. But when you let 10 cars go at a time, it's like, what are you doing? Guys, I'm begging you. Please do not misinterpret me. I'm not saying go be a douchebag and not let anybody merge with you on the highway because some kid in this room told you not to. Just remember, there's a fine line between being kind and just being flat out annoying. When you're way too generous at a busy intersection, you're not just slowing down your own day. You're jamming up everyone else behind you and it becomes extremely frustrating. And you're probably just sitting there thinking you're doing the right thing, but in reality, everyone just wants you off the road. Don't be too nice, my friend, and also don't be a douchebag. Be in between. To piggyback off the previous topic, I want to talk about the people who are way too cautious to the point where it's frustrating. Let me visualize this for you guys so it's much easier to understand. Let's say you're coming out of a Target parking lot into oncoming traffic. Everyone knows or should know that you should go when there's a clear safe gap between you and the next car. But the problem is when you wait for a car that's literally across the damn street to go, knowing full well you would have made it. This one is extremely annoying, so please just go. In 8th, we have the people who can never miss an exit. The I turn down, good luck everybody else people. These guys will literally risk their lives and others just to make sure that they take that exit. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm guilty of this. And I do need to work on that. But if I do see an inch of daylight into an exit, why not just force myself in instead of driving 5 minutes for an extra exit, you know? But I am not encouraging this behavior. Definitely miss some exits if you're late. It's better to be 5 minutes late than, you know. Next, we have the people who literally go the speed limit on the fast lane on the freeway. I had recently made a community poll asking, why doesn't America have an Autobahn? And almost 90% of you guys agreed that we are stupid. If we ever had an Autobahn, there's still gonna be that handful of people who drive 65 on the fast lane, piling up traffic behind them. Like, it's literally a crime. I'm pretty sure it's impeding traffic. You bought a car to go to places faster, so step on it. Or move over to the right lane. Don't switch lanes and then maintain the exact same speed you had in the previous lane, because that makes no sense. See, I'm even beginning to notice a pattern. The worst type of drivers are the ones who think they're being safe and being good drivers. Because obviously the people who are too nice, way too long, or even drive slow think they're doing the right thing. But in all honesty, they shouldn't be driving at all. We have one more to go, and if you've made it this far, I'm just gonna assume you're enjoying the video. So I'm just gonna announce right here that I do have a Patreon if you want to support me further. I'll be posting all sorts of exclusive content on there, so be sure to check it out in the pinned comment. Finally, we have the people who have no idea how to use their turn signal. Yeah, pretty much every BMW driver. I don't necessarily mean the people who completely neglect the thing, but the people who use it too early or too late are equally as annoying. annoying. Indicators are not a hard concept. You use it a few hundred feet before you turn or make a lane change to alert people around you of your next move. You're not using it for yourself, so turning it on last second and forcing yourself into a lane is not how you should use it. Learn how to drive, my friend, and sell that BMW and get an American car. Be a man.
I'm joking, chill.
So there, that has been 10 ways to easily spot a bad driver. If you do any or even multiple of these things, please reconsider and make the road a safer place. Make sure you like and subscribe as well, and remember to take it easy, my friend.